All right, it is Hello Again Wednesday. This is episode number 81. We are live, and I am so glad that you joined me again this week. Thanks for following me on Facebook. Thanks for checking me out on my YouTube channel called Brent Miller What's on His Mind. Make sure, I just want you to know how much I appreciate you guys joining me every week. And I would love to hear more and more and more and more stories because you join me as my special guest. You're the one I'm speaking with, and I would love to hear back from you at all times. I go back and I check to see in the comments in both areas to see what people are saying and joining in on the topic of the day. As you watch, please click those subscribe buttons and those like buttons, and please share the video, okay, on both the YouTube end or the Facebook end. Just keep sharing those videos that I'm putting out there. And uh, one of the reasons is because I announced this last week. I am trying to go ahead and get to, we're 19 episodes away from our 100th episode. And on that 100th episode, I'm trying to make a big plan to maybe extend it to a hour-long segment and have, when I say you're my special guest, to actually have you guys on board. I would love to have on the 100th episode 100 followers watching, and I mean watching live at that time frame, or even I'm kind of dinking around with some things. We'll do it via Zoom so you can actually have conversation. It'll still be on Facebook, but we're going to shoot it Zoom. And that way we can have actual live feedback and live questions and live laughter as we go through that 100th episode together, with you being my special guest on that Hello Again Wednesday. I'm really looking forward to it. And one of the other things is, I guess, would be to get, besides 100 followers and 100 watchers, would be to have 100 subscribers, especially on that YouTube channel. Got a long way to go. The last time I looked, it was 17 subscribers. So I got a long way to go to get to 100. But that would be really cool to have 100 subscribers on the 100th episode. And let's make that happen. That would be really cool. So here we are. Hello Again Wednesday, number 81, when kids take over the kitchen. And so the question of the day would be, um, let me get to it. Have you ever had a kitchen disaster, or would it be considered a top chef champion? Okay, and so have you ever had a kitchen disaster, or would it be considered a top chef champion? What's it going to be like? Okay, so here we are with today. The reason I asked that question is, I've done some cooking things and stuff in the past, but a week ago or so, we had this one thing where I don't know what it was. The kids literally took over the kitchen. The grandkids did, I should say. The grandkids took over the kitchen, and so with taking over the kitchen, it was uh, an adventure in making cake and cupcakes and their own frosting. And in doing that, I'll tell you what, there's one of our grandkids that has this extreme desire to experiment. And so I'm like, I'm standing around, and I'm doing things, and I'm asking them questions. Well, what are you guys doing? And what are you making? And I'm looking at what's being stirred, and I'm like, I don't know if this is going to be what they thought it was going to be. And they had these huge ambitions. I don't know about you guys, if you ever watch Top Chef or Iron Chef America, or Connie watches one of the British ones. It's those ones are always really cool, because they're so polite with one another. And uh, I know I've said this in the past, but those shows have inspired some of our grandkids. Hey, I'm going to make this stuff and make that stuff. And so they were stirring some stuff up. And one of them wanted to make like a frosting that had been passed down from Connie's, at least from Connie's grandma to Connie's mom, then to Connie, and then now these kids are trying to mimic a red cake frosting, and it it was kind of okay, except the funny thing was we didn't have no red dye, and so it was like red cake frosting with no red dye, so it was kind of on the oh, I don't know, vanilla. It wasn't even vanilla. It would have been kind of that uh shoo, cinnamony look. Maybe that. Yeah, I don't know how to describe it. It was a very tan, very tan frosting instead of that red cake like frosting. And that, I mean, it tasted okay, and but I have to admit the cupcakes that this grandkid had made, man, they were they were very dense, and it didn't take a day to be very rock hard practically. And so those went kind of went by the wayside. Those cupcakes did. Another one of the grandkids, they made kind of a cool cupcake. Some of them were kind of small, but they made some. They tried making homemade chocolate cupcakes from scratch and with no recipe. And I think that's the thing. These for except for that red cake frosting, there was like no recipe to follow with this one. She's the one that wants to do these experiments. And then she wanted to make her own frosting without, and she wanted it to be kind of Cool Whip like frosting. Only she had no whipping cream. She had ver I don't even think we had milk in the refrigerator that day. I don't know. All I know is that nothing added to it brought it to life. Um, she added cinnamon in there. She was gonna have, it was gonna be a cinnamon frosting on her chocolate cupcakes, and so there's a ton of cinnamon. There's sugar, and there's powdered sugar, and there was uh, French vanilla creamer. That was the only thing that was in the house. And she was like, "Well, let's." I said, "I don't know. I honestly do not think it'll blend up." But she wanted to try anyways as that experiment. And so there's just uh, it tasted like cinnamon French vanilla creamer. It never came into frosting. I was not going to put it in my coffee. But the other thing is that, man, the blend, we got one of those, a lady gifted us one of those blenders, and this blender was just covered, and the counters were covered, and the table was covered. And it was like, wow, when kids take over the kitchen. Now, I did not know this. When I was looking up some pictures to do, I always like to have some pictures and stuff at the beginning segment with that intro. When I was looking up uh, uh, when kids take over the kitchen, did you know on September 13th, I did not know this, on September 13th of every year, it is National When Kids Take Over the Kitchen Day. And you're encouraged to let your kids take over the kitchen on September 13th. I probably won't remember it, but who knows? Maybe I will this September 13th. I will say, hey, did anybody let kids invade their kitchen or take over their kitchen? Uh, okay, we'll see if I can remember that. Well, hey, it is a little bit after 1. It is almost 2 p.m. That means out here on the West Coast. And out here on the West Coast at 2 p.m., down here where I'm at right now, we will have our live Bible study um, for church. And it is both via Zoom and it is live in person down here. If you can be here, Pastor Mark is leading us through the book of Joshua right now. And so that's what's going to take place for us today in just about 50, less than 50 minutes. And if you cannot make our Bible study via Zoom or via live in person, check out a Bible believing church near you and get to be part of their group. Who knows? Maybe you will be treated by some top chef in their Bible study, or it could, who knows, be a disaster treat. Whatever. Check out that Bible study and enjoy. Don't forget to answer the question of the day. Have you ever had a kitchen disaster, or was it considered a top chef moment? Let me know in the comments. Let me know your story. Write it out as a story and share it along so that I can click on it, read it, and share it with others. Be sure and like the video, share the video, because we're trying to get to that point in just in 19 episodes via YouTube or whatever, my YouTube channel, Brent Miller, What's on His Mind, or right here on Facebook. We're trying to get to that 100th episode where you will be my live special guest. It's going to be a day of celebration on that Wednesday with others. As always, I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you next Wednesday on Hello Again Wednesday.